about, baby? It's the whacked out news. People breaking the law. Ha ha, fighting in the nude. Ha, drunk people pooping in the street. Ha ha, it's the whacked out news. Huh, so many people on meth. Ow!
We got some interesting things going on at Tequesta there, Virginia.
I guess so. What's the story? We got a wrestling dentist.
Yeah, there's a guy that is a dentist who's also a professional wrestler in Tequesta.
He doesn't use anesthesia when he does a tooth removal. He just wrestles your tooth out.
He does a rock bottom on you, to knock your teeth out.
I gotta say, it's original,
Pretty fascinating concept, huh?
attention grabbing.
His name is Dr. Jimmy McDowell. In Tequesta, Florida, he's got a dental office there, and by day he extracts teeth. By night he runs circles around his opponents in the wrestling ring.
Huh.
He's 58, and apparently he's juggled this double life now for years and is proving you can do basically anything your heart desires. Apparently when he was growing up as a child in Arkansas, he knew he wanted to be a dentist, but also had a passion for wrestling, and he trained in wrestling through college, but ultimately he thought that dental work might pay better.
Absolutely.
So he's been doing the wrestling thing on the side, and apparently he just won the heavyweight championship belt from the Allied Independent Wrestling Federation.
I mean, Jaybird, this,
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan needs to go to this dentist.
I'm with you. I think
This is the stars aligning.
I think Hulk Hogan needs to take his belt. That's what I think.
You need to jump into the Allied Independent Wrestling Federation then.
I mean, the guy's in his 50s, so I mean,
Yeah,
they should,
almost 60.
They should take a young buck like myself.
Dr. Jimmy McDowell hopes to show others that life is exactly what you make it. So I think he would tell you, Jaybird, why don't you go for it? I mean, you can do radio by day and be a wrestler by night. Why not?
That's called living the dream right there.
Yeah.
Does he have a wrestling name? Like the
probably.
Jaw Crusher.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But he does. Maybe you can go
the
and,
cavity blaster.
That's a terrible.
He'll blast you in your cavity.
oh, jeez.
It sounds a little dirty.
Wow.
Double entendre.
No,
That might work here in South Florida,
it
though.
might work.
Yeah. Certain places.
Oh, he will blast that thing up.
Oh, wow. That's tough. Yeah.
The name's growing on me.
You better brace yourself.
Yes, wow. It's danger to many orifices, apparently.
I love this guy.
Well, police in Connecticut got a shots fired call. And apparently was not actually a shots fired call. Sounds kind of like what was happening at the Town Center Mall yesterday in Boca.
Yes, Boca. My phone was blowing up. Shots
yeah.
fired in Town Center Mall, but I guess it wasn't.
Oh, it started off, when we first started getting, the calls, it was like, 7 people. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Crazy. And then there was a photo of a guy that was outside on the ground and then they're like, okay, no, there's no shots fired. We think everything's okay. And they're like, well, what about the guy that was laying down? Well, apparently he got all caught up in the melee and fell and hit his head. So that's why that guy was down. Apparently there's nothing at all going on and not even shots fired. And what had happened in Connecticut was it was somebody popping bubble wrap.
Oh.
And they thought it was gunshots. So now we might wind up in an environment where you can no longer pop bubble wrap because people think it's going to be gunfire.
I love bubble wrap so much.
I know, who doesn't? We all love popping bubble wrap. Can you imagine a world where you can't walk around and pop bubble wrap?
All we'll have to pack now with is those stupid styrofoam peanuts.
Yeah.
We can't use bubble wrap no more.
What kind of world are we living in, Virginia?
It's just a dark day.
It is a dark day. I don't know what's going on here. Well, apparently there's a security guard in Wisconsin. He got a little bit bored, just kind of sitting there doing nothing. So he started messing around with his handcuffs, and apparently he wound up handcuffing himself behind his own back. Had to use his nose and his phone to call the cops for help.
That is adorable. I could see a bird doing that.
Click. Yep.
Denny's.
Yep. There's a 20-year-old guy in Iowa that got busted for having a McLovin fake ID in a bar. Yes, just like the character from Superbad. He was charged with possession of fake ID, public intox, and more.
Oh.
Yes. And got to watch what you say and do. A sheriff in Texas blasted undocumented immigrants for being, quote, drunks. Poor timing, because the very next day his son was arrested for public intox.
Oh,
Oh, dang.
Check your
Oh,
house.
man.
Yeah, get your house in order.
get your house in order
Wow.
before you get cavity blasted.
Yeah, well, and that dentist there in Tequesta, who is also a professional wrestler, would probably tell you this. Ladies, do not use toothpaste on your lady parts.
Of course not.
Who would put toothpaste on their vajayjay?
There's apparently a myth that's floating around online that if you put toothpaste down there, it can tighten things up. Well, first of all, it's not true, and second, it could be very dangerous.
But it gives you great breath.
Oh my gosh, that would burn.
Oh my gosh, right?
That'd burn on any private part.
Any? Let's test it.
If we Colgate Kevin up a little bit,
All right, Kev, drop trowel.
Not me.
I got
Try the bird over there.
toothpaste.
I say we get this professional wrestler in here.
the cavity
with some-
blaster.
the
The
cavity
cavity blaster.
And we blast Jaybird's cavity. See how this thing works out.
In that outfit, he's ready.
Easy.
Easy access.
Yes. It would work well.